Hey, what's up guys, it's me Tato, back again with the recipes that make you wanna cook. On today's video we're making this delicious beef bones and samp dish. Let's get started guys, and as usual I will leave all the ingredients in the description box down below. Now we're gonna begin by adding our rinsed beef bones into our pot. As you can see, these beef bones are very meaty and I bought them at Woolies. So you're gonna add them in the pot. You're also gonna add your yellow onions, some bay leaves and some chicken stock. You can decide whether you want to use chicken stock or beef stock. Then you're gonna go ahead with your herbs, which are your thyme and rosemary. To simmer down the bones, we're going to add some hot water into our bones, and you're going to let that pot come to a simmer and cover to cook for a minimum of 2 to 3 hours, depending on how huge your bones are, how tender you want them to be, honey. Especially if they have meat, you want that meat to fall right off the bone. So add your hot water in there. Then cover and simmer for a minimum of 2 hours. After 2 hours, this is how they are looking, honey. They are so tender at this point. All the fat has rendered out of the bones, out of the meat, honey. Especially if you have those cuts of meat that have marbling of fat. Oh, honey, the best. Now you're gonna separate the bones from the broth, and you're going to set the broth aside so that we can cook the samp with it. Now to cook the samp, you want to make sure that you soak your samp overnight in cold water. Then the next day, all I did was to rinse out the previous water and rinse the starch of the samp, and I soaked it again for about 2 to 3 hours in hot boiling water. You're going to add it into your pot or pan. You're going to add a couple of tablespoons of butter or margarine, honey. You're going to add the broth that comes from boiling down the bones, and you're going to add hot water to cook your samp. Now this samp took me literally an hour to cook. That's because I soaked it previously the night before, and I soaked it again in hot water for about 2 hours, give or take. Then you're gonna close your pan or pot, and you're going to simmer that for however long it takes. And in mine, it literally took like 15 minutes, in under an hour, and the samp was done. I also don't like mushy samp, so I don't cook my samp that long. I liked it to have a little bit of a bite to it. This is how the samp is looking at this point. It's so delicious and flavorful. You can just go ahead and add a couple of teaspoons or sprinkles of salt, and you have your samp right there. It doesn't need sashebo, if you know what I mean. Now to take this recipe further, you're going to place your beef bones in a pot that is clean, and you're going to add a couple of tablespoons of oil, and you're going to brown it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then you're going to add your yellow onions and some freshly chopped garlic and ginger. You're gonna go ahead and toss that around, and you want to go ahead and saute the onions for another 3 minutes. Once the onions are a little bit translucent, you're gonna go ahead and season your bones. I use some smoked paprika. I also use the Moroccan Rub spice mix. And this is one thing I want you guys to really invest in. Oh my god, this paste, guys, I don't know how to pronounce it. Gochujang. I call it Gochujang, if you know. This replaces your tomato paste. If you don't have this paste, you can always go ahead and use the tomato paste, but I recommend that you use this. You will chuck out your tomato paste and start using this paste more often than ever, trust me. Then you're gonna go ahead and add your Worcestershire sauce and keep twisting and turning to cook the spices for another 5 to 6 minutes. You want to make sure that you're gonna add a little bit of hot water so that you can get the spices cooking, but just after about 3 to 4 minutes, just to let the spices stick to the bones better and the meat, you're gonna add your hot water. Now this is where you want to decide how juicy or dry you want your dish to come. So for me, I don't really like that much of sauce or juiciness into my samp, so I added just a little bit of water. If you want it into a soupy consistency, you can also add just a little bit more of the water, because when you add the samp, it's just going to become very, very juicy. So the amount of hot water you want depends on how much sauce or soup you want your dish to be. Then you're gonna go ahead and add your can of mixed beans. I just discarded of the brine, and then I added my beans in there. You're gonna toss it around. You're gonna add the beans just when everything is done, and now all that you are doing is to mix everything. Then once that's done, you're gonna go ahead and add your cooked samp and mix everything together. If you have watched up until this time, now I want to take this time to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, honey. It's clearly that you like being here. You are home, you are welcome. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you want to try the recipe, and if you liked the recipe, please comment down below and show me some love, and I'll show you back some love. And thank you guys. We are officially counting down to the road to 5K subscribers, and I hope you become part of the milestone. Now once you have mixed everything in there, honey, you can decide which herbs you want to garnish your meat with or your dish with, which herbs you want to finish it off. You can use fresh chopped coriander, you can use fresh parsley, honey. It is absolutely up to you. You can leave it like this. You can use micro herbs just to garnish on top once you plate, honey. And this dish, I promise you, it is a crowd pleaser. You see how big this dish is. Can you imagine that 2 people finished this in a day? No cap. It was so delicious, guys. It is a crowd pleaser. Try it for your family this winter. I hope you enjoy it. I hope your family enjoys it. Please, if you try it, let me know. Comment down below and show me some love, and I'll show you back some love, and I will see you on the next one. Enjoy.